You're listening to Behind Enemy Lines, the podcast, bringing you wargaming news from around the world with your hosts Greg, Damien, and Dan.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 57 with no Damien, but that's okay because we've still got Greg and special guest Michael.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, good to be back.
So it's been
Don't need to lie to us.
It's been a bit of a hiatus for us, approximately 3 months. Mostly because we got super busy doing other things, like literally.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's pretty much a lie. We didn't do nothing. Have no excuse really. It's just one of those things. You get busy doing other things, and then you don't do it, and then all of a sudden 3 months passes you by, and whoopsie doodlies, you go and done fudged up.
Tell the whole story. Tell the proper story. Damien went to prison.
Yeah, he's still in jail. He'll be out soon. That's a way better story than
Appeal goes well.
Then he decided to teach kids how to play soccer. Yeah. Because that's a boring story.
That's football for our European listeners.
Oh yeah, football, soccer, whatever they call it. Anyway, what about all our social media and sponsors and all that other crap, Greg?
Oh, we're still all over social media, right? So Facebook is still there, and we're still posting stuff up there regularly. I think we had a blog post not long ago from our trip down to Panzerschreck.
Oh yes, that's right.
We've the video up on YouTube. I keep meaning to do that, and I keep doing other stuff on a Friday night, which is weird. But we're still over on Instagram. I'm putting stuff up on Instagram sporadically as I remember to do it. I should be putting up more updates of my Hobby League stuff.
Yes, you should.
I progress through that shortly. Interestingly, I'm currently building stuff for Hobby League right as we speak.
Same.
I'm building stuff because I can, and I had it, and I was like, oh look, I still had these from years ago that I never actually built or finished building. So I'm doing that process where I finish stuff.
I was going to say, what are you building?
Huh? Oh,
I was going to say what are you building, but we'll talk about it later. No, shut up. I said we'll talk about it later.
Stuff.
Spoilers.
Things.
And as always, we've got to give a shout out to the peeps who help us out and hook us up. That is our mates at battlekiwi.com and dicewar.com.au.
Yes, and don't forget, and titanterrain.co.nz.
I cannot acknowledge Titan Terrain as I have seen no free stuff from them.
I have. Titan Terrain is a fantastic company for all your laser cut other needs and whatnot. Yeah.
Laser cut other needs.
Well, if you don't get them from Battle Kiwi, then Titan Terrain will have them. They complement each other. Have you noticed that? Like, whereas Battle Kiwi does more your Infinity sci-fi stuff, Battle Kiwi does your bolt action grim dark stuff. You know, their own.
You mean Titan Terrain does your grim dark stuff?
That's what I said, didn't I?
Oh, you said Battle Kiwi.
Whatever. It's all the same. Anyway, give us money.
And there goes your sponsor.
Sponsors.
Schmozzle. Hashtag sponsored.
Yeah.
So that's where we're... one more Panther done. So that's where we are in terms of social media, and that's where we are in terms of sponsors. So right now, as is tradition, we crack into no news.
Yeah, we don't have a song for that one because Damien got upset when I did a audio bit for that, and he's like, but I don't get to do the beep 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 noise. It's like, well, yeah, no one cares.
Hey, that's my shtick. That's my shtick. Don't you get in on my shtick.
Let's talk about Games Workshop, shall we? Oh my god, so we're going to do old news that everyone knows about. It's contrast paints. They turned out to be a bit of a flash in the pan, but are also quite handy.
Are you using them yet?
Yep. I used them on one figure, and I was like, ooh, these will save me many minutes if I care to use them. But if you've got an airbrush, you don't need to use them.
True.
You just got to get gooder with your airbrush. I saw someone the other day paint like a whole Warcry army or gang or crew, whatever the fuck they are, just using airbrush, but we're using ink out of an airbrush.
Ooh.
Ink,
like was it Liquitex? Yeah, Liquitex ink and a couple other inks to make like weird flesh. Well, they have flesh colored inks and stuff. You get all sorts. And because he went with a Zenithal, but the thing with the ink, it doesn't you know when you use a spray can or an airbrush, it makes the dots, like a spotty dots when it comes out when you're trying to do a zenith art. Ink just goes on flat, it doesn't spot. I was like, wow. And then he just started hitting it from different angles to get it. I'll show you a video later, and it's amazing what he did to get all the muscle definitions. Then he hit it from the bottom with the purple.
Post it up on the Facebook page.
I will.
Around?
Huh?
Is he using the airbrush to like push the ink around? And
No. He was using the airbrush as if it was a paint. I mean, the ink as if it was a paint.
Huh.
But going back to contrast paint, it's really cool if you want stuff covered quick. Like if you're new to painting and you just want to knock out an army, it's fantastic for that. But excuse me, I wouldn't you already know, don't I? I wouldn't use it on Space Marines though, or anything with big flat panels. Tanks, no. Space Marines, no. Tau, probably also not, because it has this habit of like pooling where you don't want it to pool.
Point of order.
What? Yeah, you used it on a Space Marine or a Tau?
Currently using it on my Tau, and I'm not having any problems with that. So I'm
Are you thinning it?
I've done about, I'm just looking over at the desk, 10 Fire Warriors, using pretty much exclusively contrast, and they look alright.
Did you thin it with the thinner though?
Put it all straight out of the pot.
Wow. Look at you, rebel. Straight out the pot, eh? One thick coat. Crazy bastard.
You know it.
But I used it on a corn butcher blood. I don't know what the fuck it is. Some Age of Sigma thing with lots of swords and shit. And he came out really cool. Especially with Gilliman Flesh is the most impressive color I've ever seen. And my favorite color.
I am not overly impressed with Gilliman Flesh as a flesh tone.
We're using it over white or grey.
It's over a white, but it's taking a couple of coats. That's the only gripe I have with it.
Really, it only took me one coat, and I even thinned some parts of it. Interesting. Okay. But if you've got like an Ancients army you need to do, and they're mostly dudes with like no clothes on and whatnot,
yeah,
that's an awesome color to use. It just saves so much time. It's like
I might use that on finishing off my my Greeks.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh yeah, I think going for Greeks.
What else? Games Workshop are doing new Space Marines again. So new codexes for all the Space Marines.
It's just new codex. So it's a re-release of the
new codex.
Existing codex, and there's 2 new supplements that have out. The supplement for the Ultramarines and a new one for White Scars as well.
So still no sisters then.
No.
Oh, Plastic Sisters are soon.
Soon, but not now. They keep teasing pictures of them. But they'll come after the Space Marines and whatnot, and probably something that hasn't had new models like Eldar since. What are they still using models from the 90s somewhere in their line?
Yes, but no, but yeah, mostly.
Probably. But Games Workshop are pumping out a whole bunch of new stuff, which is good if you like Space Marines, I guess. Jeez whiz. And you can make your own homebrew chapters. So
absolutely.
So borrow from some, put in the other, and all Space Marines getting +1 attack on the charge, which is great if you're a Khorne Berserker, because that means you get something like 5 attacks if you dope them up real good, and they attack twice per round. It's messy.
Something like that. Ridiculous, man. It's not right.
Messy. But once I finish painting my Space Marines, which are going to be Legion of the Damned, I can pick and choose to make them whatever I want. Shit, I can even make them chaos if I wanted to, because their heads are on fire.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I do what I want.
You can't.
Yeah, has Games Workshop done anything else? I mean, they've done lots of things. Warcry is a big thing.
I mean, Warcry is massive.
So I don't know what it is. Is it just like is it like Kill Team but smaller?
I kind of feel like that's the way it's been pitched. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it's like a very light chaos-based Mordheim, but without any experience or anything like that.
The thing I think I liken it most to is King's War Vanguard.
Oh yeah, just a small skirmish game between warbands.
I haven't seen enough of it. I haven't played it at all.
Oh, okay.
I've got to watch some more videos on it.
I wouldn't know either. Sorry, my cords keep catching on. I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds annoying to me. Oh god, what was the other thing I saw that they did? My brain just stopped and was like, oh no, you can forget about the thing you were just about to remember. Oh, the Aeronautica game.
Oh, I know re-release of that. That looks crap.
Yeah, it is. It's the only thing they re-released so far that's been decent is Blood Bowl, because they just left it alone.
Yeah,
from the old
or about Aeronautica.
It was like an airplane-based game for.
Yeah, I know what it was, but I'm not so sure why they've chosen to re-release that rather than
because it's easier for them to re-release that than remake something new that they're gonna have to unfudge. Like if they need to add more stuff to Epic or release Epic to start with.
Or what? But what about something like Battlefleet Gothic or?
They're probably rejigging.
War.
They're probably rejigging Battlefleet Gothic because Battlefleet Gothic did have some issues where you could cheese with a list. Looking at you fucking Necrons, and and Man of War is probably too old to be rejigged. Remember they did didn't they do a boat game? Dreadfleet, and that just what a load of rubbish. That just went down the toilet. So why would they want to do Man of War, another boat game, if they do a space game? I want them to re-release I want Mordheim. That's what I want. But I don't want any of the bullshit that they put in the new Necromunda. Ugh, yuck. Keep it simple, stupid. Let me go Grimdark in the past.
I go Grimdark in the past.
Grimdark in the past. So
how it works.
So Flames of War. Oh, big ETC was on just recently.
It finished on the weekend. Team Russia won it.
Yeah.
The Russians.
Russia, and then a couple other European nations won.
The Romanians came second and the Poles came third. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, look at that. Oh no, hang on, what's this rubbish?
I don't know. I can't see what you're looking at.
Oh no, I'm looking at the ETC chat. It looks like it's just the first round.
All right.
Well, was it in Hungary or somewhere else? Serbia, yeah. Okay, so it's deep Europe. So yeah, it's pretty much in the Europe as Europe goes. It's pretty deep in there, but not all the way in Russia, kind of deep. But yeah, I was really disappointed by the clones of the armies that just did it, and it's a combination of people who know the terrain that's normally at the ETC, which is not much, and the armored car rush, which we all know is a vector for the big toys.
Look, I hate armored car rush.
Yeah, it's they're cheap points, so you can take big things like Ferdinands and Tigers and whatnot. Because it was a mid-war, wasn't it? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, there were no
a lot of Czech armies and Italian armies and stuff, so definitely mid-war.
Yeah, and there were no T-34 in it except for the German T-34 army. But it's just the way ETC always has been. It's always been a power gamer's wet dream.
Yeah.
It's not you go there and have fun. It's like a hardcore bunch of dudes. Like normally we'd see all over Facebook and when the forums are around, just after ETC, non-stop complaining and accusations.
Yeah, who cheated this year?
Like Team USA cheated us this year. They said they knew the rules and they went to the oh god, not this shit again. Because they used to complain a lot. Every ETC, someone had cheated someone out of something. It's like, oh my god, you guys need to chill. Just play your toy.
Heard any this year?
We hadn't had any garbage this year. Everyone seemed happy, which is great. Means that that either means that the mid-war rules or V4 rules are decent.
Yes.
And it's just the lists that are being. The word's not manipulated. It's just everyone's playing cheese. So that's. I compare it to like playing 30k. It's like everything. Everything is a big, huge, exploding weapon. Everyone gets cheese, so everyone bought cheese. So,
which means that everybody's running the same cheese, which means cheese is even.
Yeah.
Even cheese.
But it just gets boring, you know? It's like, why would you bother doing that? It's like everyone's running the same shit. It's like, yawn. Why bother?
Yep.
Other than that, bloody Omaha Aces. Yeah, Americans have got their D-Day book.
Yay.
Actually, I have a copy in front of me right now.
I don't.
That's because I gave you Fortress Europe when we came third at Panther Trip.
And I gave it to Bo because I already have that from the app because I don't need it.
Right.
I am just waiting for next month, which will include the wonderful German book.
So, well...
I would love a copy. Hint, hint. Not an electronic copy, an actual copy, but I'll take an e-copy. Anyway, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm almost certain my army won't change too much.
What is your army?
Stugs.
Oh, there's no Stug.
There will always be Stugs, Greg. Don't you worry. They're
I know.
stalwart of the German armored war machine, because no one takes Panzer IVs because of their weak front armor.
It's the same as a Stug.
Yes, no, it's not. It's 6. Stug is 7.
Carry on.
Yep. So looking forward to the Germans, their release of their book, their D-Day book, and then after them is it Russians
British?
before the English?
Nah, British before the Russians.
British before the Russians? Oh, okay, that
British.
makes more sense.
Just shit.
Makes more sense because, as we all know, Battlefront hates the Russians, so they will be last.
Everybody hates the Russians.
Yeah, pretty much. And their lists are
It's the
alright
reason
about.
why- Yeah, it's the reason why they have so much in Fortress Europe. They've got a ton of extra lists compared to everybody else. So but they kind of knew that the Russians were going to be at the end of the queue, so they put a big, like a like a big leader at the beginning, so you can have
Like Ricky battalions and all sorts of shit in the Russian book.
Yep, heroes, etc.
That explains why I lost last Wednesday.
This Wednesday. So I have the D-Day Germans out in September. I have the D-Day Waffen-SS out in April, and I have the British out in February.
What does the Waffen-SS book have in it? Is that just better motivation?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably Waffen-SS.
Yeah, that's probably where your
Thanks.
slugs are going to be anyway.
No, great.
That's kind of like the whole Mortain Operation Cobra stuff, but also the attacks towards the sea and all that kind of all those things that the SS did as well. So yeah, it's kind of there's just so much that you can put in the German book. There's you could have done 3 different ones if you wanted to include the Luftwaffe as its own separate book. You almost could have done that as well to include the Fallschirmjäger and the ship troops. But the generally it's So the first book is going to be kind of that first batch, all the beach defenders, and then the second book will be the counterattack.
Cool.
The 12th, was it the 12th SS Panzer and all the rest of it?
Yeah, all the ones there. Well, most of them had presence there.
That's going to be pretty cool to see and have and own and look at and buy, etc.
Won't have it.
I'll get it. I'll probably get it on the app because getting books in this country is a bit slow, but getting on the app is instant, which is I actually like using the app now. At first I was like, oh, I love books, and then I was like, no, I love the app because use Forces of War. Does I use Forces of War? That's the one I use, right? Because there's also the other one. There's Flames of War Digital, right?
Yes.
Riddle me this. So Flames of War Digital, you can't build lists on it though, can you?
No, it's
just a book.
It's just a book platform. Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
And then the Forces of War is the actual building app. So yeah, I don't really use either. I still do pen and paper for all my lists.
Yeah, I would. Well, if you've got Flames of War Digital, you have to use pen and paper because you can't.
Yeah.
It's literally just a digital copy of the book, which is annoying because it should, if you buy it, it should come with the army builder, so you don't have to use your brain.
Good point.
Because they have to turn pages, they should link together, which I always thought why not have this links to that? But I imagine that would be a lot of work. But the only book I bought on this is Ghost Panzers on digital, but I've got a whole bunch of. I like buying the list for $1. Those are cool because I need Stugs. I bought that, and I needed it before I went to the game. Wanted to see what I could get, and I was like, I'm going to cheese it up, and I did, and I'll tell you about that later. And how much fun that was. It wasn't really cheesing it up, but it was like, what can I do with different points to see how this goes? Because the meta.
Cheese it up.
The meta. Whoa. Yeah. But aside from Battlefront, Marvel's got a minis game. Well, it's not Marvel. It's who's doing that? Those guys.
FFG.
Who?
FFG.
Oh, fine.
FFG.
Flight.
Fantasy Flight.
Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantasy Flight has all the Disney stuff. It seems.
Well, they would have
That's
paid
weird,
a hefty fee for it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think they could probably leverage what they're making off of Star Wars.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty easy to.
And these are like 40 mil as well. So they're pretty big.
Yeah,
They're epic.
that's
It's huge.
8 mil.
What?
I think that was intentional though, to kind of get it away from what was it? Is it night models?
Doing the DC game.
Yeah, yeah. But didn't they have Marvel for a bit as well? Pretty sure they did.
Maybe.
Briefly. But anyway, just trying to get away from those figures. I think. Yeah, it's kind of trying to find a nice little scale that nobody else does.
Yeah. You do.
Is it too big though?
No, because you can just. I mean, it depends on how many people are going to be in your squad, but I don't know. I mean, you could do an entire game action figure size and it'd still be kind of cool. You know, like you've got
Games Workshop tried doing that, remember? Inquisitor at 54mm scale. What a ridiculous idea. It's like, hey, you know all that terrain you have? We need you to make it bigger. And you need to play with these giant models. The models were beautiful, as I've said many times.
Gorgeous.
And they were great if you painted them up and put them on a shelf. But then, like, now play with them. It's like, what? Why? No. Just keep them on a shelf forever.
Well, that's the thing. Like the miniatures are going to look nice. They're going to have really dynamic poses. They're just going to be fantastic. But you probably will need to have some bespoke terrain specifically for that. But having said that, I mean, how many figures do you think you're going to have per side?
Like, what, max of 5? If you're going to be 40 mil,
Yeah.
right?
5 seems excessive. I mean, for a superhero game, you're like 2 or 3 or something. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sort of if I link it to Batman and where you can have sort of 5 to 10.
But some of those
Yeah,
aren't
it's actually
superheroes,
great.
right? Some of those are just cops and, like, henchmen, right?
Oh,
Yeah, totally.
Whereas I think Marvel's more just
More
heroes
superhero.
and supervillains.
yeah. They're going for that Avengers super build sort of a thing, I'm guessing.
Yeah. None of those swaths of bad guys that the Hulk just smashes over and over again.
And you gotta get through and smash the Hulk.
Yeah. Which never works, because Hulk can never die.
Can
But look, what was the price on it? I saw it was 139 or 179.
yeah, something. I mean, the price point, the entry point wasn't too bad.
Hang on.
For me, I can't justify it.
Hang on, I found it. 179. It's Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures game.
179 US.
179 New Zealand.
Yeah, okay.
For how many figures?
Contains a game set in the Marvel Universe. Players assemble, make your own shit. Does not say.
'Cause that's approaching Games Workshop price, that one.
It is, well, not for a box that size. A box that size would normally set you back $200 and something dollars. It doesn't say how many miniatures there are, but I've just seen the Hulk expansion for it, $65. Hang on, is that just for the Hulk alone? 140mm figure.
Christ, I'm cracker.
Jeepers creepers! This is like Games Workshop, but it's 40mm figure. It's like Games Workshop prices.
What's it made of?
I don't know.
It's a tabletop, highly detailed plastic miniatures representing iconic Marvel characters. Players choose from characters in the collection to form their own Marvel-inspired dream team, and they pit them against their chosen forces against each other. So basically, you pick a superheroes, they pick a superheroes, and they beat the shit out of each other.
Okay,
I'm
so
guessing
it's
if it uses the
video
FFG
game.
pipeline, then it's probably that same plastic as Legion, I'm guessing.
oh
Ooh,
yeah.
That wouldn't be worth $65.
No, that would be my call as well.
Ooh, they got a MODOK as well. Gross.
All right. Well, I won't be playing that. I'm a DC guy anyway, so
Ooh, edgy.
really.
I don't know. The Marvel versus DC thing never got me. It's like, I don't care. I keep all the comics in a box. Gale Force 9 are doing
They don't lose their
What?
value. They don't lose their value. Yeah, I keep them in a box so they don't lose their value by being touched.
Yeah, that's the whole point of them. The Silver Age comics. I'm not going to touch them ever again. Speaking of Silver Age, June is getting a board game re-released by Gale Force 9.
Sure is.
Which is pretty cool because I, for the first time, read or listened to 22 hours of Dune. Because I'd never... Yeah, it's a 22-hour audiobook, and I listened to it over the course of like 2 weeks. And I'd never read Dune before, or I've heard bits of it. You know, in the Dune audiobook, which I'm sure is unabridged because it was 22 fucking hours, they never once said the spice must flow.
No, that was a fabrication.
Yeah, it's like that is not a thing. I was like, what? Because I was listening out to it to like, yeah, come on, say the spice must flow, but they hardly ever talk about the spice melange, or what is it? It's a melange, right? Yeah, whatever it is, the stuff that turns your eyes blue and helps you bend space and time. Anyway, don't drink that water of life or water of death. That drives you crazy. Paul Moore-Deeb knows all about that. Anyway, it was a bit harsh. He was everywhere at once, inside everything at the same time. I was like, hang on, so you drank that and became God? It's like, for a little bit. Then I came back, and it was weird. Oh, and 6 weeks had passed. Oh, whoops. Let's go fuck over the Harkonnens and the Emperor. Like, all right. And then what got me was it just ended. I was like, wait a minute. Like, Dune, the story. Oh, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't read it. You should read it because it's fucking awesome. Or listen to the audiobook on YouTube.
Who hasn't fucking read it?
Yeah, and I was like, so he goes to take on Baron Harkonnen's nephew in a one-on-one duel, and he kills him. And then he some sort of chat to the Emperor, and it's like, oh well, I guess I'll just marry your daughter now, even though I've got a like desert wife. Now I'm gonna have like a Emperor wife, and I guess more books.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I'm not gonna read those other books. I'm gonna treat it like Halo 1. Just play it. That's it. Don't care about the rest of the Halos or the rest of the Dunes. Don't need to know. Dune what?
Messiah is good.
Dune Messiah. Is that the one where he turns into a worm?
No spoilers.
Oh,
so
okay.
you give it a go. It takes place directly after, and then I think Children of Dune. Those are the 3 that I would recommend. After that,
Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, and then it gets a bit. Doesn't his son try to write some at some point after he died?
Well, he writes Frank Herbert wrote 7 books.
Oh, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, like a whole year's worth of listening. And then his son takes over and does a bunch of like extended universe stuff, like prequel stuff, all about like the Butlerian Jihad and the houses, like a history of each of the house, like a massive 300-page book just about each house. That sort of stuff.
God, that's huge.
So he's gone deep. But the first 3 books of the Dune series are really solid. Yeah. So I'd give them a go.
The thing that surprised me most about Dune, and this is coming from a guy who played Dune, the video game, not Dune, didn't read the books, was like the lack of shooting each other in the book. It's like, oh, we can't shoot each other because you might have shields, and shields attract worms, and if you shoot me with something that causes the shield to explode. Yeah, if you shoot a laser at a shield, it does like a subatomic explosion, like a mini nuke kind of thing going off, and you don't want that kind of on you, and you're not allowed to use atomics because they're rude. Yeah, it was interesting to see. So they were mostly just stabbing each other to death. It's always a hoot, weird from the far future, but somehow sword time.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it though.
Interesting.
Talks about that, which is kind of cool.
Interesting. It was actually on YouTube is where I found it. It's like
really?
Dune the audiobook, part 1, part 2, 11 hours each. Fun times. Yeah.
Yeah. So the new board game is coming out from Gale Force 9. That's an old one from the 70s or something. 70s,
yeah,
something like that.
It's like a I don't want to say Jitco, but like Avalon Hill or something like that. I did, I think.
A Gale Force 9 going to do Hit the Beach. I'd buy that again.
Hit the Beach. Which one's that?
It's where you're like Marines, and it's like you roll dice, and you're trying to get to the top of the mountain, and every time you hit like one of the little like Japanese machine gun posts, you get knocked back to the beach. It's kind of like a weird Snakes and Ladders, but people get killed, and it's like You know, it's one of those games they made in the 60s. It's like, yeah, no one has PTSD. Hit the beach. It's like, oh, God, this game is terrible.
You can get copies of that on Trade Me.
Yeah, but they're expensive, aren't they?
You can get them like $5.
What?
There's copies on there for like $5.
What? No. This was a game my grandmother brought out. Like one day, it's like, hey kids, you guys look bored. It goes in the top cover, pulls out obviously one of my uncle's games. $79. Holy shit! There's the game. Oh, it's a Command Decision. Hit the beach.
All right.
What, isn't Command Decision? Isn't that what do they make?
It's a World War II rule set.
Yep. World War II board game, very rare, 1965. Yep. So my grandmother pulled this out of the cupboard. And it's like, would you guys like to play this game? Which promptly turned into, would you like to just roll dice and have no idea what you're doing and occasionally put the figures in your mouth? Nom nom nom. I'm spitting Japanese machine gunners at you, sister.
And they're made of lead.
No, they're plastic. Good old-fashioned plastic. No, but there's one issue on there for $79. That's really cool.
Or I saw some for cheaper than that.
I might get that.
Ooh.
Holy shit. Holy shit. I have to interrupt. I just clicked on the thing where I was looking at this Hit the Beach, and there is a huge game collection from the 1970s, 80s, and I shit you not, and Mike might get a bit excited about this. They got Command Decision Dogfight. They've got Hit the Beach. They've got Grand Prix. They got original Escape from Colditz.
Oh, how much?
Oh, it's $500 for all these games. Ghost Castle, original Battleship, Cluedo, Subsearch. Holy shit, they got Subsearch. Oh my fucking god, and it's like the full 3D boards. The $6 Million Man, Drag Strip, Subweto, which I think is that game where you flick the little men. Yes, it is. And they kick the ball.
It's football.
Creepy Critters. Yeah. Oh, Cribbage, boring. Jackstraws, boring Scrabble. Chopper Strike. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And just for funs, the game of life. A family game. It's like, you are a millionaire or you're poor. Holy cow. Some of those are really good. Really good.
Dan.
I just was looking up the Dogfight board game. There's a few of them on Trade Me. But I played that a lot. My dad had a copy of that.
Oh my goodness! Enough of that. Back to the noob news instead of me browsing where I'm going to waste $500. Oh, Kings of War going to get a new version come out.
That is out in October,
and they look
the pre-releases are up now.
So pretty. The new models.
I'm getting them.
Like
I've decided.
It's one of those things that you don't expect with Mantech. Well, you do expect. Like some companies, they never improve and they're just like, here's the same shit we did last time but with a different book. These guys are like, here is a better looking miniature than the one we had last time, and we're not even going to kickstart it this time. So, hey.
They have got they're so successful now because of what they've done with Kings of War, what they've done with the other licenses that they've had, that they can just trade on their name now and not have to worry about kickstarting. It's brilliant.
And I have no idea what's in V3 Kings of War. Nothing's really been released or leaked, which is interesting. They keep talking about Vanguard a lot.
Yeah, I don't know about Vanguard. I haven't played it. I think some guys at Club have tried to play it.
Yeah, there's not much love for that down here because it's still Age of Sigmar kind of thing, and fantasy. They like to play. When I go to club, they like to play small skirmish games. Mike would probably love it here because small skirmish games. Yeah, no need to fuck around. But then someone on the next day will be like 4,000 points of 30k. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many Titans do you need? That kind of thing. But V3 of Kings of War would be awesome. And I just realized I still have an unpainted, unassembled angry dwarf dude army.
Abyssal dwarfs.
Yeah, that's the fuckers. They're in a box right here. I was like, oh, that's awesome. They're my freshest.
Good luck painting those. They're an absolute nightmare to paint, from what I hear.
Yeah, because they're dwarves, right? But they come with all these extra things to stick on their faces that look like evil masks.
Yes.
That's what I bought gold spray paint for, and probably lost the gold spray paint wherever I put that. I have no idea where I put that. I'm sure
not at my house.
I'm almost certain there is a box somewhere in my boxes I still left at the other house. because I couldn't be bothered moving them to my house. That is full of all my spray paints. I'm like, where's my spray paints? So annoying. But I have done some things towards getting some more storage here. I bought one of those. I don't know what it's called. It's like the people on the internet will know it's a IKEA Deltoff or Delkoff or something like that. It's like a display shelf for your miniatures. So I'm going to put my pith painted toys inside it.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be, I think, once I've finished painting a good looking Flames of War army, they're going to go in there. I have a terrible habit of not actually finishing Flames of War armies. I finish them and half finish them, and then I go like, ooh, new shiny, and then move off it, and then I either forget the recipe that I've done to do it, or, but this time I'm going to knuckle down, I'm going to commit. It's like, just paint everything. And that was my goal.
You're so full of shit.
And my other goal was to sell all my resin stuff and replace it with plastic.
Again, full of shit.
Yeah, one day I will.
Didn't sell the resin, you dumped it at my house.
I dumped the unpainted resin at your house. I didn't sell it. I didn't dump all of it. I still got boxes of it here. God,
yeah, I know.
What a mess. Yeah. But I think that's it for Noob News, because Warlord Games didn't really have anything, did they?
Oh, they've got Bolt Action Korea.
Oh, that's right.
Coming out shortly.
I forgot to mention that, yeah. And they got the little mash thingy that came on.
I saw the mash box. Looks cool.
I kind of want to get that just for the box. But there's some guys up this way in New Zealand, Dave Mulder and Mark Hazel, who are currently working on Bolt Action Vietnam as well. It's a bit of a side project stuff that they've been doing. A lot of 3D printed stuff, and it looks really, really cool. It hasn't quite caught me yet. It might. I've got too many projects as it is at the moment. I've got to knuckle down and get some finished.
Yeah, I'm
building Panthers.
I'm the absolute same here. It's like, I've got a billion things to paint and a million things to do. So I've got myself a nifty list of what comes next. What part am I doing? I can't remember what it's called. It's a Jira board. Damn it!
It's a Trello.
I've got myself a Jira board that tells me what I'm doing, what parts to be next, and what tasks I'm on track for, and what ones I'm behind on. So, just taking an awesome business tool and turning it into a nerd tool. Yeah.
So, what's on your next sprint?
Next sprint is still, which is behind, it's always going to be behind. I just changed the sprint dates. Is going to be,
now you're a project manager.
Yeah, it's like, we'll just change the sprint date. Duh, problem solved. Like, oh god, the business is going to find me. I'm just going to airbrush some of these Gene Stealer Cult commission that I'm finishing off. How's your knee not?
Is that Darren's one?
Yep. Yeah, so I've just got the last 2 units to do, which is great. I'm going to airbrush those. I was going to use contrast paint on them, but I tried contrast paint and I was like, that doesn't match and they all look different, so fuck that, bring out the airbrush.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's life. Gonna fix that. And then after that is construct, that's a word. My brother's Israeli army for him, for Team Yankee, because I bought him one of those for his birthday and thought, might as well get that done.
Happy birthday, Josh.
Yep. Good work, Josh. Even though your birthday was on August 7th. Army's in the mail. What else am I doing? And then my Flames of War army for Flamescom, which I should also buy air tickets for, because all they do is get more expensive the closer you get to the date. Yeah.
Oh, airline tickets, yeah.
Yeah, those tickets. Yeah. Airline tickets are mental.
Late war, this one. Or mid-war?
Late war. And Team Yankee.
Late war and Team Yankee, you're going to come and play, right, mate?
No.
Nah. I like Mike. It's just like, no. Make something fun. Boring.
It's fun. Late war's fun. Bring your hobby league force.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Rangers.
I'm going to end part 1 here, and you can listen to some ads. Bye for now. Need tokens, terrain, or custom battlefield accessories? BattleKiwi.com has you covered. With a wide range of laser cut MDF and acrylic, it has something to suit everyone's wargaming needs. Ranging from the battlefields of World War II to the far future of Infinity, BattleKiwi.com has it all. Visit BattleKiwi.com And for a 5% discount, use the code BEL5. Dice of War. Dice of War supply custom and historical wargaming dice and accessories. Unique designs to suit your gaming requirements. Visit the online store today at diceofwar.com.au.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Behind Enemy Lines podcast, where we're going to talk about what we've been doing at our respective clubs now that we have all different clubs all around the place. So, Dan, why don't you kick us off? What's going on in the deep, dark south?
Lots of things. Invercargill is a hotbed of wargaming. You wouldn't believe it being all the way down here.
Bullshit.
And yep, it is. Like, our club regularly gets 20 to 30 people show up to it, which is cool because it's in a pub. Well, it's one of those places it's in the Southland Club, but it's one of those clubs that's connected to that massive club network of like 400 or 700 other clubs. I don't remember the number, but basically
Lions Club.
No, for drinking alcohols and whatnot clubs. RSAs as well connected to it, so I can go to an RSA and wave my card there and sign in as a member. You know,
Is that right?
yeah, it's weird. So I can be that person who signs everyone up to drink at the FlamesCon. Anyway, lots of people there.
What
am I? Me human?
So what are you playing?
I play Flames of War. That's what I always do. I played with my test lists, which I was going to bring out to FlamesCon, which was Saturn's, a Stug company, and I was the list I was going to build was going to be 1 Stug, 4 Stugs, 4 Stugs, 2 Ferdinands, and some Nebelweffers. And I was like, haha, douche list. And
Correct.
Then I was like, oh, I don't have any Ferdinands. That's a bit lame. And I was like, what can I do? So I was like, this is not cool. So let me just get my list. It is here.
5 Ferdinands?
No. Even though that would be super fun. German Forces of War. Come here. View forces. My force that I took was 1 Stug in the HQ, 4 Stugs, 4 Stugs, Nebelweffers, and 3 Tigers, and a Tiger Ace card.
Fucking hell.
And by Jingos, and if someone, just by way of saying, if on Forces of War, someone could add, I know that it's available in a PDF somewhere else, if someone could add the actual Tiger Ace rules in the forces, that would be great, because you can buy them, but you don't know what the rules are, because they're not anywhere unless you find them on the Flames of War website by accident. They are free, but, you know, they're a bit of a pain in the ass to locate. It was quite cool, quite a cool game. It was...
what did you play against?
Russian mixed tank, not hero, but normal one with T-34 85s and T-34s. Some T-70s, some armoured cars to get them forward. And it was just... what was the mission? The mission was... we played it the other week and I didn't like it either because it got bum rushed. Because he has immediate reserves and I have scattered delayed reserves.
Oh dear. Sounds like counterattack.
It was one of the ones that's like mission 6 or something. It's one where we put down like 3 objectives and he takes one away. I can't remember. But the Tigers rolled one of the Tiger Aces where the platoon commander can re-roll his firepower test. And
what?
Yeah, that's one of the things. It's pretty cool.
Right.
And what happened? The Tigers, in one round of shooting, they looked at a platoon of 6 T-34s. They shot, and there were no more T-34s. I was like, that was outstanding. And I shit you not, they wiped out T-34 after T-34. It was amazing. Until they got round the side. And then my command Tiger tank got bailed. Now, then he got double bailed. Then he got triple bailed. And you know what he did?
He died?
Nah. 2+. Get back. 2+. Pass. 2+. Pass. 2+ remount, then a 1 for his stick last man.
For his last stand.
Last stand. I was like, god damn it. I was like, he was on a roll, eh? It was like 2+, and I was like, can I at least get a 3? I was like, no, you have a 1 on the last roll. I was like, come on. But it was really cool. And tigers in late war, they are scary beasts again. AT-14, sexy.
Yeah.
And especially with the way you can pick out, like, it's a nice Firefly you've got there. I choose you to die, Pikachu. And you can, and with 3 of them, that's 6 shots. It's like nice Sherman 76 squad. You have the, oh, they're dead. Oh, okay, bye. The Stugs all died because they suck, because they're Stugs. But you know, I don't lose it. Like the Tigers were in ambush and they just popped out and they were like, nice T-34s you've got there. It was still long ranges as well, so I needed 4s to hit, and they all hit. And I was like, have a nice day. Goodbye. Like they can't save. I mean, the 85 could save, but not very well, because their front armor goes up to 8, doesn't it? Or is it still at 6?
6 goes to 7.
And they can't save. Oh, I love AT-14. It's so awesome. Yeah, but
You gotta wait until you get the M4A3s, where you get to,
decent shooty and decent armor.
Which can only barely save
Yeah.
at range.
Then you got to fingers crossed that your jumbo takes some hits, and that's
Jumbo.
that's not for a wee while yet. But I'm excited for that German book, because that game was awesome. I still lost because I was stupid and took Nebelweffers, and they were always in reserve. Because it's like, what's the point of them against tanks? So what I've done is I've swapped out the Nebelweffers, and I did a platoon of Grenadiers, and with the Panzerfaust Shrek, Panzerfaust.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a platoon of 7 duders, but they've all got that Panzerfaust rule, so it's like, come at me, bro. I will fight you. So no one will be able to assault them, because they'll just blow you up.
Like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I was like, I don't need artillery. I got Stugs. They like artillery, but can't fire bombardments. Yay! But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That was me. My brother.
That's all you've done.
Oh, there's probably other stuff too. I can't remember. I do lots of stuff. Lots of drinking. Lots of food at my club. A lot of drinking though. I really shouldn't drink as much. So anyway, I only have like 2 beers at club. Sometimes 3, maybe 4, but not that much. Anyway, my brother did organise quite a large 30k tournament down here. I was meant to
How did that go?
It went really well. I was supposed to go, but on the Friday afternoon, a migraine said, "Hey, dude, fuck you," and I was like, "Oh!" My brains just decided to melt out my nose. So you know, when I have my migraines, I don't get the standard, I need to sit in the dark because I have a big headache. I get that, as well as I can't read and I can't talk properly. So it's like, we're just gonna temporarily shut off this part of the brain. It's like, oh, thanks guys. And I just sit there going like, cool. And anytime I do read, it's, you know, when you hear an adult who doesn't know how to read, learn to read. Like, it sounds like when I read, it's like Mantic V3 Kings of War, and I had to force it out. And I was like, God damn, that's terrible, you know. And that is really bad. I have to take special drugs to make those. What did the doctor say? It's like, take this and it will abort the migraine. It's like, yes, but you'll still be left with the 2 days worth of headaches. It's like, oh great, thanks buddy. So yeah,
this is the best.
It's the worst. So I missed out on that. Someone took my place, but it turns out the list I had was illegal anyway.
Of course it was.
Yeah, they didn't actually check it until after the tournament. Like, well, good thing you didn't come because your list was totes illegal. Like, oh, thanks guys for checking that out. Apparently I couldn't.
Unbelievable.
Apparently I couldn't take the prime. What do you call them? The Primarch's special transport vehicle, because you can only play it in games 3001 points and above, not 3000.
Oh, the Bane Blade.
The Shadow Sword, yeah.
Shadow Sword, yeah.
The personal transport for Perturbo, which is a Shadow Sword, which is a Titan killer, which is, you know, what every Primarch should drive around in, you know, a giant F-off tank. But otherwise I probably would have won the tournament and then been like, you have cheated, and like hand back my medal or whatever. Like, whatever. But yeah, club is going really great. They've recently become a proper club. That makes any sense?
Like affiliated and shit.
Yeah, so they formed they had a votey thing. I think they're still making decisions on, club stuff, what to charge people, to join the club and that kind of jazz. And overall, I'm really enjoying it down here because it's not as dumb as you think. There is a lot of garage gaming going on too. So when club's not on, there'll be things Sunday, who wants to play a game of this? And we've also discovered places where we're able to film games. We can actually use places we're actually allowed, because we're members of that club, to use some of the side rooms to actually record games in.
Oh, cool.
Not had to pay for them, so we're like, wow, that's really cool. So we can whip those up and chuck them on YouTube and whatnot. But we're just going to make them interesting and make sure everyone's got, like, a Team Yankee is really taking off, as I'd say it, down here. So people are slowly buying into that, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And I think the other guy I'm bringing up to FlamesCon with me, I'm not sure if Jason is going to bring his Flames of War army or his Team Yankee army. So it'll be either be one or the other. But I think he's registered. You'd have to check that though, there, Greg.
I don't remember seeing it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Cool. But we also need somewhere to stay. Winky wink, Greg.
No room here.
What? Come on. Don't you have
I got no room.
What about those couches downstairs?
There's one.
It's pretty comfy. That'll do. We can
High density polystyrene.
Yeah, we can sleep somewhere down there. Yeah, cool. Good work, Greg. Well, we're staying with you. Well, you'll figure it out. Anyway.
We'll see what we can do.
We'll see what you can do. We'll stay at Greg's house. Because Damien's house is full of Bobs, which is not what you want to hang out with.
Oh, yeah, Bob's coming.
Yeah, so everyone's going to come. And plus we've got direct...
Should I get a Ferdinand or should I get a Tiger?
Get a Ferdinand. Just be different. It's the only thing a tiger can't hurt.
It's legit.
Yeah.
Nice one. Oh, I'm going to lay it. It sounds like the South Island scene's doing pretty well then.
It is. I mean, it's not as good as Christchurch, which basically owns an entire workingmen's club. You know how you go to one of those old established clubs and they have photos on the wall of like the chairman and the da-da-da-da-da?
Life members and shit like that.
The treasurer, all that kind of thing. Yeah. They have that for their wargaming club.
Shit.
Yeah, because three wargaming, I think three wargaming clubs combined to create a mega club, and it was just, all sorts
mega
of
club.
It was like, wow, that's organization plus. Yeah, crazy. What about you, Gregory?
Oh look, TK's been going. I mean, we're keeping everything ticking over. Everybody seems to be having a good time. We're getting involved in all sorts. Team Yankee's been played quite a lot. 40k, obviously. What else have we had recently?
Things.
Yeah, all kinds of things.
There must be things because I see them all the time on the blog and the what do you call them? The Facebook page.
The
Facebook machine. Bob's creating Franken Tigers. I don't know why.
Because that's his hobby league.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, we'll talk about hobby league in part 3.
Oh, okay. Cool. But yeah, you know what we forgot to talk about in the news? Absolutely Dangerous, the big book of relics, robots, and other deadly technologies for This Is Not a Test.
Oh my god, we did too.
Robots and relics, so released for This Is Not a Test, so don't forget that.
Yeah, that is out. And also Reality's Edge.
Yes, which is the what's the word? What's the genre for that called? Cyberpunk. That's it. Which is all the rage now because that game's coming out soon. Yeah, that's a game. Shut up, Daniel. Yeah. So, what about you, Mike? What are you doing? What are you playing?
We've had kind of a quiet stretch. I think a lot of people are kind of overseas and stuff, but I've been doing a bit of gaming. Actually, went out this is several weeks ago now. The I played some great war games with Patrick, and
Yeah.
I actually should probably get those pictures and battle report up on the website. I forgot to do that. That was ages ago.
Yes. I need them.
Yeah. So I've got So we had a mostly fully painted battle report, which was pretty cool. I think we played 75 points base and this kind of a standard big push style mission where I took some Americans. I ran them as Marines, of course, to soak up as many points as possible. They were mean. They were so good. Like the ability to like rush into a trench and kill things on a 2+.
Oh my god, 2+.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Because like the British and the Americans get the trench fighter rule, so they get like a +1 on their attack. But since Marines are veteran already, they basically become 2+ when they get in there, and they like rally. Yeah, they rally super good, and they're not gonna stop assaulting. So once I got a platoon into the trench, that was it. And I had a couple of FT-17s kind of plodding around, taking pot shots at things. One knocked out a bunker, which was pretty amazing. Another one took out an A7V. It was funny that Patrick's A7V like shows up on the table, and I'm like, well, shit. And it totally gutted one of my platoons. It's got like 12 dice, just completely decimated.
It's a mobile machine gun bunker, isn't it?
Yeah. And my platoons aren't small either. I've got like 10 or 11 teams in them, but he still managed to kill them down to a tap. And so in one turn, and they failed, and I had to bring them back the next turn because it was one, like that wave attack sort of thing. So at least they didn't die, but at the same time, I was back a turn. And then when it went back to my turn, I was kind of feeling a bit down, and I had a FT-17 that moved to get a shot on it, and it got a hit on a +1 because it's got a tiny little turret. It's a little 37mm gun, and went like straight through into the tank. But since the land battleship, there's a whole bunch of like saves he can make. But he failed all that straight away, and I just blew it up. There was no land battleshipping it at all. It was just a very expensive paper tiger that just went vaporized in one tiny little 37mm. Yeah, must have hit the magazine or something.
Nice.
But
thanks.
Yeah, but it was a really dramatic game. He had a field gun that was like knocking out FDs left, right, and center. So it was quite an intense game. But once the Marines were in the trenches, there's
no coming back.
Because he was playing as reserved infantry, so he had like reluctant veteran, something like that. Yeah, they were like the opposite of my guys. So yeah, that was only gonna end one way, but it was a really fun and dynamic game. And so yeah, so we played that. That was a lot of fun. The other thing I've been doing, the guys at Club out east, they've been playing a lot of the new Saga fantasy game. So they've released
Age of Magic or whatever it is.
Yeah. The one where people are just grabbing their fantasy miniatures and playing Saga with them. So
nice.
that's been the new thing here. A couple guys grabbing like Lord of the figures and things and taking Lord of the Rings. I've got some old Urkai that I was gonna dig out of the garage and take down to Club one day. So we'll probably give that a go sometime.
That'd be cool.
So that's been.
I got rid of all of my old Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah, well, I've gotten rid of most of mine, with the exception of these Urkai, and I've almost got rid of them. And then they announced this game coming out, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I originally painted up those Urkai specifically for like a Lord of the Rings version of Saga. I was going to field them as like Vikings or something. But then, that project never went anywhere. So I was going to drop them, but yeah, no big deal.
I found out what's in the Marvel game.
Oh yeah, yep.
Sorry, it's totally back to the new news. There's like 10 figs. From what I can see so far, there's Ultron, Doctor Octopus, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Red Skull, Captain Marvel, what looks like Black Widow. Now there's some dude with a sword, and there's someone who looks like that guy with the iron fist who fights
Iron Fist.
No, who fights Captain America?
Bucky.
Bucky, his name is.
Winter Soldier.
But it could be the other guy. I don't know. It's a weird box here. It's got like random like super villains, random super villains, and then just like a bunch of heroes who don't normally cross over comic books at all. Unless they're like even in the Avengers, like that's all the Avengers there except like the Hulk and Thor, because they're all in their own separate box sets. But Dr. Octopus being
make money.
Weird. Yeah, but looking at the individual ones, I see the Thor looks really cool.
Yeah,
they got Rocket and Groot, which is also cool.
Cool.
Yeah, a bunch of them. But anyway, back to Mike's awesome Urkai / Vikings / not Vikings. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't think of. I want to say there was something else that I did at TCAT at some point, but anyway, it's been pretty much me. I've just been doing a lot of hobbying, a lot of building the league stuff, a couple more ships for my Jutland thing.
I was going to ask you how your Jutland project was going.
Yeah, I've done a bunch of civilian tankers and stuff for like convoy work, so I've got those done finally. They were kind of boring because they don't have guns. Fun, so, but they're necessary. And then it's been kind of it really. It's been kind of a slow hobby stuff because I've had some other stuff kind of happening in the background which I can't really talk about, but that's been taking up my time.
Secrets.
Yeah, super secret stuff.
Like secrets are the best kind. Ooh, hobby secrets. Secrets. All right. That was a good wrap up of what we all did in our clubs and respective things. Even though we're far apart, we still enjoy the hobby, even though it's far away. All right, cool. Mentioning distance twice, that's weird. Anyway, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Hobby League and Panzer Shrek. And apparently Greg's going to talk to us about 30k, which should be interesting.
Won't be a very long conversation.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the other stuff then. All right, bye for now.
Yes.
Danger! Is your battlefield in need of terrain? Visit titanterrain.nz. They've got all the laser cut MDF terrain from historical, modern, and futuristic. Visit titanterrain.nz or follow them on Facebook. Welcome back to the third and final part of the Behind Enemy Lines podcast. This is the bit of the meat and taters, as Mike named it so many years ago.
It's true.
This was your idea, Mike. I remember because you were like meat and taters, because that's apparently what you folk eat over in your country. Yeah.
They eat
Grow it
meat
too.
and potatoes everywhere.
I don't know about that. That's unverified reports. Anyway, Panzer Shrek. We talked a lot about. We talked about this for like a year, and we got built it up, and then we went to it, and then we never did a podcast about it.
No, that's pretty fucking slack, actually.
Jeepers creepers! What an ordeal! I tell you what. It was for the person who had to travel from the bottom of the country to the top of the country to the middle of the country, then back to the middle bottom of the country, then drive by car to the very bottom of the country where he lives. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Mission successful.
Had to do that though. Why would you do something like that?
Because someone said, let's go for a train ride. And I was like, okay, then I love trains. No, I don't. Yeah. So it was fun. I decided to fly up from Dunedin. So it was a 2-hour car ride to the airport. Then catching another plane, which nearly took 2 hours to get to Auckland. And to be honest, I forgot to bring a book or a video or anything. And it was the most boring flight I'd ever been on. There wasn't even a person.
It's like an hour and a half.
It's an hour and a half. Seems like it was longer because I had nothing to do. There's only so many times you can read the Air New Zealand magazine before you're like, I can't afford anything in this. And it's like, oh, it's just like, ugh. There's the quiz that pops down, and it's like, oh, easy, pop culture, don't know. Easy, pop culture, don't know. Sports, don't know. You know, asking all those questions. I didn't even have someone in the seat next to me to talk to because it was empty. I was like, oh, great. I guess I'll just sit here and board out my brains. Maybe And like when I was coming down from Auckland to Dunedin, right, I got to look out the window. And I was like, cool, I can see the ground. I was like, oh, look at that lake. Oh, look at that mountain. Except this time the captain's like, we're ascending to 37,000 feet. I was like, that's pretty high. And I was like, look down. It's like, cool, cloud. And anytime there was a gap in the cloud, you'd see more cloud. It's like, god damn it. So I had nothing to look at because I bought a window seat. Because, you know, I like buying window seats because I can look out the window. But there's nothing to do. So I was very bored. And then arrived in Auckland. Stayed at Damien's house. The next day we all caught our choo-choo train.
That was so much fun.
Was that like 9 or 10 hours on a train?
It was just something like that.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. My ass was so sore.
So annoying. And we annoyed so many people on that train.
You can't prove that.
That guy with the weird carrot haircut, he was grumpy. He thought he was going to have a nice romantic train ride with his wife/girlfriend thing. But little did he realize that, like, was it 10 of us in the end? Were going to be sitting right behind him.
9 of us, eventually 10.
Yeah.
When Adam got on it.
Someone got it in the middle of the bush, jumped the board.
Yeah.
But we got drunk on the train, and Bob got drunker, and everyone got really loud, and everyone started picking on everyone. And then at some point, Daryl busted out KFC, and it's like, where did you bring that KFC from? You're on the middle of a train in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, haha, I prepared. It's like, what?
It was so good.
And Bob's frequent trips to the toilet to mix his own, Pepsi mix with, I don't know, rocket fuel by the taste of things. Oh, that was fun. And he only wanted to see the Raurimu spiral through that whole trip, and he missed it because he was mixing his shine in the his prison wine in the bathroom. I was like, how did like it's like a 10-minute trip around the Raurimu spiral where it does this thing where you can look back and see more train tracks, and everyone's like, ooh, the Raurimu spiral. But I've been on that before, and I'm like, yeah, man, it's train tracks, and I'm not a anorak like he is. And he missed it because he was mixing booze in the bathroom. It's like, oh well, you lose out. Should have pre-made it before you got on the train.
Oh, it was so good.
It was a pretty interesting ride. A lot of it I've done it once before when I was younger, but I was less interested. But yeah, you see a lot of New Zealand. But if you live in New Zealand, you're like, yeah, that's a farm. Yeah, that's some trees. Yeah, we've seen it all before. But if you're a tourist, you probably love that shit.
And like you guys started drinking at what, quarter to 10 or something?
Quarter to 9, wasn't it?
No, it was quarter to 10.
Quarter to 10. No, we weren't that early bird, were we? No. Yes.
But Damo started drinking, got drunk, fell asleep, and woke up with a hangover all in the same train trip.
That was awesome. And then we arrived in Palmerston North and had to do the trek to the bottle shop and Domino's, then onwards to Shannon. And did they forget your entire pizza?
They did,
which was interesting. And we went to Bob's, and because it was a Thursday and the Toy Soldier wasn't till Friday, we did a lot of getting drunks. Well, you didn't, Greg, because you don't drink. Lucky you, smart move. And I drank too much.
You drank.
I drank so much. I drank more than I should have. And by jingos, did I throw up a lot?
Yes, you did.
I spewed so much. But I was a good boy. I spewed outside, spewed out the back of the garage where no one goes except the dog. And it was just like, whew, that was a lot of spewing. And I did a lot of spewing, as you know. And then I went back to sleep. And then the next day, everyone was doing practice games because, it's Panzerschreck and people have had literally zero practice with their army. And I'm trying to catch some Z's and trying to work off a wicked sick, still drunk hangover. And then I just stand up and I'm like, oof. I think I'm going to just have one more power chuck and I get it out of my system, including breakfast for that morning. I was like, oh, it's all gone. Whew, cheapest creepers.
Was this like a Team America scene?
Kind of was.
Mine wasn't. Mine was not a Team America scene. I didn't get any on me at all. A little bit in the old mustachio beard, but that's normal for when you got a mustachio beard thing going on. But
True.
it was mostly on the grass and not in anywhere, not gonna damage
On
anything.
me.
It wasn't on you. That was a bit mad. Yeah, so I got to sleep in the garage, which was actually quite nice. Hey, Greg.
We had a heater. We had.
I wouldn't mind doing that again because you're away from actual Damien, who snores like a battle tank, and I'm assuming Daryl snores really loud. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Keep me away from those people. But it also keeps you away from little Damien, who spewed everywhere, all over himself, all in the room that he was in, all over the bathroom, and it was just like, what a mess, what a guy.
It was on the roof.
It was like some crazy stuff. It's like, how does spew even get there?
Ridiculous.
Nobody knows.
But
yeah,
about like an invite next year, eh?
Who knows?
That was at Bob's house anyway.
Yeah. So that was messy, but then after my final power chuck, we got back in the game, and Greg and I took on the T34, T55, and T64 list, and that was a good fun practice game. We lost, but we managed to shoot down a lot of hinds with lavs, just using the main gun. It's like, get out of my sky. They were down to 1 at the end and just testing every turn, but wouldn't go away. But that was kind of fun. And then, of course, the next Saturday, I was like, I'm not going to drink this time, so we just pulled back the old stick on the drinking. We got all the supplies we needed in town. I got myself a new towel and some food from the shop. And now Greg. Now, as we're walking out of the warehouse, which is for American listeners, kind of like Walmart, and it's the same,
Walmart.
And it's the same kind of clientele that go there. I'm walking back to the car, and Greg's already in the car, and I think you noticed about the same time as I did, the skinny blonde chick walking towards us with her 14 kids in tow, and I'm like, oh, that's some sexy SS runes you got tattooed on your neck there, love. And Greg's all like, and I'm rushing to come, like, Greg, look at the chick. And he's like, I see her. And then she's walking away. She's also got an ankle monitoring tag on her thing as well. And I'm like, oh, pure class.
Classy. These SS runes, like, I shit you not, they weren't discreet. They were probably 2 to 3 inches tall.
You know in American History X where the scene where he goes, I'm gonna put out a flag to see if I got some friends, and he takes off his shirt and there's a big fucking swastika on his chest. Same thing, but on her neck, like bold all the time. And it's like, oh cool, going into the warehouse to buy cheap Chinese made crap for your family. Ugh, winner.
So classy.
But be back by 6 o'clock or else you're gonna get in trouble.
You get zapped.
So like that was awesome, so much class.
Oh my god, ridiculous. But then we actually went and did some wargaming, right?
There was some wargaming on the Saturday, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
And on the Sunday?
Yep. First game we had against the guys who bought massive loads of BMPs and Russian scum, and it was like, ugh, we didn't win that because we did. No, we didn't, because we couldn't capture the objective.
No, sorry, you're right. We drew that one.
That was okay, but we lost a lot of games, but I think we won 2, or did we win 3?
3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
3 wins. Now I know we beat Phil and that guy. What's his name? Rick? Doesn't sound like his name is Rick.
His name was Luke.
Luke. I thought you said Rick. You cut out halfway through. So we beat Phil and Luke. Who was the other persons we beat?
We beat Tom and Alex.
What were Tom and Alex running?
Pretty much the mirror of
us, right? And then who was the other people we beat?
Bye.
Oh, we had a bye. Yeah, so we won by like doing nothing. We were like, we're winners, yay! Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. Greg and I thought, because of all the losses and the draw and the bye, that, because the bye was not being given maximum points like it normally was, it was giving an average, wasn't it, of all your games?
We had like 4 points or something. So all our wins were 4 3s. We had 4-3, 4-3. Our loss was a 2-5.
Yeah.
And our draw was a 3-3.
Yeah. And then we thought, oh, we're not coming anywhere in this because, we've lost some games. We're nice guys. we'll just go around and we'll spoil the sports point by telling everyone to give us their sports votes, you know, as we do. Because that's how you win sports, by telling people to vote for you in sports. You know, top sportsman there. And surprisingly, we came third.
I know.
I was scratching my head at that one, but, you know, I'll take it. It's a win.
Got a medal.
Got a medal?
Got a medal.
So
it's on my wall right next to my spoons.
Yep. So we're right up there with Damien now. We'll have a Panzerschreck medal. Mike, I imagine you've got multiple Panzerschreck medals?
Sorry, what was that?
Multiple? Do you own multiple Panzerschreck medals? You've won a bunch, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a 3rd place and a 1st place.
There you go. What a winner. No drums.
Mostly
Yeah.
Andrew.
Oh yeah, that's right. Carried to victory. You're just there to slam books down and point out rules mistakes.
Yep.
Good.
People cry. That's
Yeah, me. Bust out some.
You're never gonna
bust out some special rules. It's like,
down.
have you seen this special rule, bitch? Boom. It's like, not Mike Horton's special rules. No, powerless against them.
how they roll.
Oh, jeez. But no, next year is going to be late war.
Yes, it is.
So by then, most books should be out. No, all books should be out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no, hang on. Who's coming out in 2021?
Soviet one. But you have the first book. Fortress you up for that.
Yeah, lots of extra stuff. Yeah,
At
that's
least
right.
6 Ferdinands by then.
Yeah, be sweet as. No dramas. So looking forward to that one, but this time I will not be doing huge trips. I will be doing one flight from Invercargill to Auckland, then one flight to Palmerston North, and then, I don't know, probably whatever's cheaper, probably flying back to Auckland and then flying back to Invercargill. Oh, I love my carbon footprint. It's the best.
Pussy.
Yeah. But getting home was fun. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you had a bit of a cluster.
It wasn't a cluster. It was more just it was a mission. Because my city doesn't have has direct flights to Auckland. But getting home was different because there's no direct flights to my city because it's not a big national airport. It's not
city.
It's not Queenstown, basically, even though it has more population. But anyway, it doesn't look as good as Queenstown, that's for sure. So I had to go from Palmerston North to Dunedin. No, I didn't. Holy shit, that's a lie. I went from Palmerston North to Christchurch, and I got to see the red zone from the plane. That place is awesome. Looks like Chernobyl, but they knocked down all the houses.
Really?
Yeah, it's it's just streets with nothing in them. Just like anything next to the river is gone. It's like just massive park type things. It's crazy scary. So I had to go from Palmerston North to Christchurch, and then wait half an hour to connect to my flight to Dunedin. And then went to the flight to Dunedin, and then I had to drive 2 hours to Invercargill. Oh, it's such a long way. So I left at what time?
2 hours.
What time did we leave? 9 o'clock in the morning to go to the airport. About then.
Yeah, something like
And I didn't get home till 7 o'clock that night. So yeah, bit of a journey. So
good.
everything next time is just direct flights. But we had fun. I had like a whole weekend of like sore tummies from the spewing and the sore sides from all the spewing. But you know, I managed to play hungover for 2 days. You know, that's how bad the drinking was. Slight alcohol poisoning, but we managed it. Thanks, Greg.
No worries.
Yeah, I was really angry at my dice at one point for screwing me over when we could have beaten Phil. I think it was 6-1, and managed not to because the dice roll was like, and I'm cocked, and I was like, motherfucker. Yeah, so that was fun. It was basically I bum rushed Phil with some M1s and was just going to go for side shots in the next thing, but it was like, hey, you guys need to do a motivation test. It's like, and you leave. It's like, I love bad spirits. They're the best. See you later, guys. But
unfortunately, that's the way the game works, right?
It is. So looking forward to version 2 of that, which is out pretty soon, by the way.
It's not too far away, is it?
Is it September or October or sooner or later? Or Christmas, TM?
It's towards the end of the year.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that'll be interesting because I look forward to that because adding some of those V4 things in will hopefully remove the Milan issue. But that was another thing, because of the density of terrain at Panzerschreck and the way Panzerschreck's always set up to be like kind of lots of line of sight blocking, but lots of hills. The terrain is like really well managed, we'll say that. Milans don't really have too many options. You can't just go like all Milans and they have a massive field in front of them just to lock down anything that comes near them. So that's always interesting. But with the V4 you'll get V2, I'm sure, I think they were saying you get the kind of artillery rules that are borrowed from V4 and the remount before you run away kind of rules, which are good because most folks get back in a 2 or a 3 up.
Depending on the tank, it brings everything sort of into a little bit more consistency in terms of the rule sets. So you're not having to remember one rule one way and one rule the other way. So
which is very, very annoying because we could see that at Panzerschreck as well. Lots of people were like, let me just check the rules, because they're all remembering V4 stuff, but then they've got to switch their brain back to V3, but then they've got to add in that it's Team Yankee and mind melts.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So Mike, you didn't go to Panzerschreck, but that's okay. How about that hobby league?
Yeah, how about it?
I'm not in it because I didn't join it. Yeah. But I'm not in it, but I'm just painting stuff for it. Does that make sense? Is that what I'm not playing in a league, but I'm just painting stuff for as part of that thing?
Yeah, the whole idea behind the league is just to get people painting together and creating armies. So, yeah, the one that I'm running, so Greg and I both have a kit, and Greg's running one out of TK back, but the one that I'm running, it's kind of everybody else. So we've got people from the shore, people from the out east, people from south, anybody who needs a group to do this with, they can just kind of join up. Mostly a remote kind of thing. We're doing it all on Facebook, that kind of thing. So you paint up your stuff, like 50, 75, 100 points, whatever it is. 3 milestones set out at the end of each month. And this month, 50 points. Everybody's putting together the first week has just come and gone. So that was a lot of people putting their armies together, making orders and taking pictures of sprues and stuff like that to show what they're working on. And yeah, so now people are actually kind of getting down to the business of actually painting their first few platoons. So
that's right. Yeah, so I've just started. Like I said before, I was just building Panthers, so I've finished building all the plastic Panthers. So I'm doing a Panther company, mostly for ease of painting and because I absolutely love the Panthers. My favorite team.
Yeah, I think one of our guys, Phil Petrie, he's doing Panthers as well, and just seeing yours and his, I'm like, man, I really should dig garage and that as well. The problem about 50 points as your first milestone is that you feel like you could do all the 50 points that you wanted to. You know, you feel like you could do a German one, you could do an American, British one, but I'm having a hard time. I'm doing U.S. Rangers for mine. The trouble about a U.S. Ranger company in the U.S. that caps out at like 26 points. So you have to take either another company, or which I'm not prepared to do, or you take something else as well. So, I think what I've kind of penciled in is a bunch of support currently, and then some M8 scout car, kind of like the second formation, if you will. And so it's kind of what I've been doing with my stuff is not, I don't have a lot of the new plastics, but what I am doing is I'm going into my old collection, bringing it inside and figuring out what can I make, because I've got kind of a meta goal of making an American company, an American generic company. So like a ton of infantry stands that could be anything size paratroop. And then
you're just doing what I'm doing and painting all your stuff.
Yeah. I just want one core army of each nation, and so that's what I did for this. Is I went in, grabbed all of my American stuff I've ever painted or is unpainted, sorted it out, figured out what's extra, and put that aside for getting rid. But all the stuff that I've already painted, I was going to like remaster them, rebase them. But when I kind of got down to it, I realized the painting job I did originally in the first place. So I just ended up starting from scratch and painting them up. But they mostly all metal and a few metal and like tanks like the M12, those big 5.5 guns. But I'm gonna do a Sherman company to go with it because they're dirt cheap, and I'll do a bunch of them plastic, and I want to replace my M10 company with plastic M10s. So that might happen in like this 75 point range when we get to that point. So yeah, lots of different armies coming up, which is kind of cool. It's really good to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like when people go with the variety. Even Damien was at club like last week assembling Stugs.
Yeah, he's gone balls deep into the Stugs. It's crazy.
I even saw him using plastic glue on plastic models instead of super glue on everything. That was like, wow.
No, it was amazing to see.
I was like, wow, crazy guy. And I bet I know where he stole that Revell glue from too. Yeah.
Yeah, I look, the hobby leagues. It's really, really good, and the kits that we've gotten from Battlefront have just got a whole heap of stuff in it that's part of playing in the hobby league, painting things, and all the rest of it. And I think it's just a really, really good idea to get people into the and it promotes the new books, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Because it dovetails into the Normandy story that they're telling. So they're kind of getting all excited about like landing on the beach and stuff like that. But all of the products and stuff like that are kind of geared towards that thing, that kind of story. But I mean, people can do whatever they want. They can do Soviets if they want to, but most people are doing kind of D-Day forces. Out of the 6 guys that I've got registered for my one, there's only 2 German players.
Wow.
So there's a lot of excitement for the British specifically.
Really?
A lot of people playing out of Fortress Europe British and in anticipation for other stuff. So we've got I think we've got 2 rifle companies. We've got a Churchill company and say a company. So there's quite a bit of stuff coming from that angle. And yeah, I'm the only American Grenadier player, Panther player. So
all the British Commando stuff, the British Para stuff that I got from him, involved in Hobby League, and he's finished it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was great. Are they? Hang on. Are they Brit Paras and?
They're not.
No, they're not. Are they?
No, they're not.
I didn't think so.
So he's got to wait for the next British book to come out. I mean, he could run them as motor company or rifle platoon, rifle company or something like that as well. So
is that Monkey painting those?
He's painted them. Yeah, they're done.
I'm almost certain. Where did I get those from? Did I get them off? I'm pretty sure I got those off Monkey before I gave them to you. Before you gave them back to Monkey.
I bought them off Monkey.
Which ones did you get off me then? Did I just have spare ones I didn't want anymore?
Those are the Commandos.
Oh yeah, did I give you those? Oh god, I really shouldn't give you stuff. Yeah, well, that's where I went looking for them the other day. I'm like, where are they? It's like, damn it, I must have given them to Greg.
They're right here.
Yeah, I don't know why I gave away random stuff. I should have just kept it all in a box and been like, hey, I can never use it. What?
Here they are.
Oh, abuse. Well, it's all right. I had them for like, I don't know, since they were released, and never opened the blister pack. So there's no point in like, worrying about them now or ever, because I was never gonna paint them, even though they're dead easy to paint. It's like, actually, they got all those backpacks on. No thanks. Yeah, but no, the Hobby League sounds like a great way to get people into the game and get it built up.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's all based on starter. It's all about getting your starter stuff together, and so it's an opportunity for veteran players to start a new army or refresh old figures. But like new players, it's all about, because there's a lot of incentives built into the league rules to like help help people get started and to host painting workshops and stuff like that. So we've got a few of those kind of lined on our end that we're going to try to have a barbecue at some houses and stuff, have for painting, that kind of stuff. But the thing that I quite like about the kit is it comes with a bunch of prizes like deck boxes for all of your cards, like a nice plastic deck box, tokens and that kind of stuff. But they're all given away to people who make those painting golds, not necessarily people who win the tournaments or play. Like, it's all about it's about the road as opposed to mission. I think that's something that's.
Is it about the journey, Mike? Is that the word you're looking for?
That's it. That's the journey.
Because I'm just.
The other thing,
no,
it's cool because it kind of leaves it up to the organizers to kind of do how they want, whatever they want to do at the end of those miles. And I think Greg and I were talking about doing some kind of joint days at TCAL or something like that. So like,
absolutely.
At the end of 50 points, we'll do a 50-point event where everybody brings their 50 points. And then, maybe if it's a tournament, possibly, or even there's the new Bloody Omaha card campaign thing. We could do that for 50-point day.
The aces card that I saw in there. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. So there's a lot of like kind of fun stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
And just kind of take it easy. And the idea is that you kind of get to the end of the hobby league. You'll have a 100-point force, and then that's when the on tabletop guys are doing the big, previously Beast of War. They're doing the big online D-Day world campaign. And so the idea is that you'll have a 100-point army with that, and kind of join play.
Nice. And Battlefront are also doing if you tag at Battlefront Miniatures and use the hashtag Hobby League.
That's right.
We on Instagram and enter their photos on their Woo box, whatever that is, on their Facebook page. There's prizes up for grabs as well. So I don't think you have to be in a hobby league, but you just have to be doing what looks like, it says share your hobby league photos, but if you're doing part of the hobby league, like you're building like your 100-point starter for this, I imagine they're not gonna, you painting your early war stuff, they're not gonna be like, that's not really hobby league. But people like me who like Greg, have you used, how many spots are there in a hobby league?
We've got 8.
Cool, you've got 9 now. Yeah. So I'll join your hobby league. I
don't have enough.
You don't have enough what?
I have enough. The kits are only set up to do 8 players.
Great, you've got a 9th one. They don't care.
10.
10?
No, they've got 10 there.
Yeah, shut up, Greg. Anyway,
I might have 10.
Cool. I've joined your hobby league, and I'm like already mostly nearly done.
Hang on, just wait, because I don't have space. You can just jump into Mike's one.
Whose one?
Yeah, that's true. You can join ours.
Oh, but they're all like elitists and stuff.
That's not true.
Yeah, no, there's 10 slots. I was just having a look.
Yeah, I'll take a 10 slot because I know half your club's not in it. So my list will look cooler anyway.
My 10 slots are filled.
All 10 of them.
Just kick Gavin out. He doesn't need to be in.
No, he's busy. He's always grumpy. He can join another one. He can go join Mike's one because he lives close.
He's in 2 of them.
He can't be in 2 of them.
That's what I said.
That's cheating.
Yeah, he tried to join both. I threw his plate in the fire. There's no Gavin in ours.
Yeah, double dipping. What a loser.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all right. I'll just run my own hobby league with blackjack and hookers and stugs.
Jack hookers and stugs. Oh my god.
That's my favorite things in the world. Yeah.
In that order?
Blackjack, hookers, and stugs. Yep, that sounds legit. Totes legit. Yeah. Well,
nice one.
Greg, you wanted to talk about 30k, but I don't. It's like, who cares?
We're not going to talk about 30k anymore.
Cool, great. That ends that. Mike, thanks for joining us in place of Damien, although Damien wouldn't have added much. And talking to us about Hobby League. Thanks to all our sponsors and all our listeners. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, thumbs up. I don't know, whatever other emotes there are for this bullshit on social medias. Yeah. Fun times. And I can't say happy wargaming because someone already took that. But carry on being you. You're a winner.
A wayward son.
And remember, gaming is cool.
It's cool.
Shit, I don't know. That'll do. Great tagline. Gaming is cool. I'm going to add that for every video. And remember, gaming is cool. And Greg also promises he's going to make more YouTube videos of him getting rules wrong in Flames War, so that you guys can comment on how he did it wrong. Because we love those comments. All right. That ends that. Ta-ta for now. See you in episode 58, which we promise will not be 3 months away.
Yeah, we hope.
We promise. God, we better do it in a couple of weeks. All right, bye-bye for now. See you later, audience.